Imagine a project that pays tribute to Australia's heroes of a silent service. Imagine a project that enhances the prosperity of a small coastal township. Imagine developing one of Victoria's premier tourist attractions, using the latest state-of-the-art technology to turn back the hands of time to breathe life into an experience. Using world-first techniques and technologies, the visitor will be presented with an unparalleled virtual experience of action stations below. The visitors themselves become ghost crew as the submarine does battle with the enemy above.
Otama now has a new home, mission and crew. Surprisingly, some of her new crew are very familiar with the vessel. As a young man, David Hall was a cook on Otama, and on her arrival was keen to explore the vessel and seek out his old and familiar bunk. In this tiny kitchen, he prepared over 180 meals per day.
This is a galley where I used to work when I was aboard this submarine. This submarine has a crew of 72 men, plus extras at different times. In this galley I used to work with a baby chef, and the two of us would work in here a good part of the day, around about 15 hours a day. We had to supply meals, hot meals every meal time, two choices for lunch and a sweet, or what we call duff, and two choices again at tea with a hot breakfast. Plus also in this galley we used to also do what we call midnighters, a small snack, as well as making bread. All we had to have was 3 hot plates, 2 ovens and a deep fat fryer.
The Oberons were possibly the most effective conventional submarine class of its time, with an astonishing reputation for quietness.
Okay, here we are in the engine room of HMAS Otama. We have 2 diesel engines, V16, HMAS Otama being a diesel-electric submarine. The engines drive 2 generators. There's no connection to the propellers at all. Propellers are driven by electric motors that are driven off those batteries. Traditionally, the engines were named after famous couples, such as Bonnie and Clyde. HMAS Otama's engines are named Miss Piggy and Kermit. Okay, we're in the motor room. Motor room is like a power generator, a power station. It controls the generators on the back of the diesels, and it controls where that power goes, usually to charge the batteries, but also to the propulsion. Also in the motor room, we receive commands from the control room as to the speed that they wish the propellers to be turned at, and we configure the motors to achieve that speed. Okay, this is the main propulsion switchboard. It receives the orders from the control room regarding the speed that they wish the submarine to go at, and then we configure the switches on dials on the switchboard to achieve those RPM. You've got your telegraphs up the top, your motor RPM here, and all your switches down below.
This is the forward torpedo compartment. This is the largest compartment of 5 compartments inside the submarine. This houses 22 torpedoes. Torpedoes are placed in the racks here behind me. We can place 6 on the bottom rack, 6 on the middle rack and 4 on the top rack, plus 6 torpedoes in the tubes themselves, as well as 2 down into the hold under my feet. The torpedoes are also loaded down through the torpedo rack, comes down on a set of trolleys, comes down into the submarine, then hoisted out of the slide onto a rack, then can be loaded into the torpedo tube or pushed across to the side of the racks to allow another torpedo to come down. It has 6 torpedo tubes. Torpedo tubes are fired by high compressed air, which are released either manually here in the compartment or from the fire control panel back in the control room. While I was serving on this submarine, we used to carry 2 torpedoes, a Mark 8, which is an old World War II type torpedo, point and shoot, Plus we used to carry a Mark 23 battery operated, which was wire guided. The wire was attached to the back of the torpedo and run out as it was fired and guided from the control room of the submarine until the wire broke or it attached itself to the submarine or ship that it was aiming at. The torpedo compartment also stores extra gear plus survival gear. If the submarine sinks, the submarine supplies each member of the crew a escape suit. This is the torpedo fire control panel. This fire control panel fires the torpedoes from the front of the submarine. Operator sits here and operates this panel with coalition with the captain of the submarine, working out where his target is, be it on the surface or under the water. So he sets the torpedoes to whichever wants to fire, what type of torpedo he wishes to fire, then presses the buttons to fire the torpedoes at his command and fires the torpedo out to the target ahead of him. This is the forward periscope. It is the first of the 7 masts inside the submarine fin. This periscope is monocular, which operates by the captain. It is only used for attacking, when we're attacking a ship or another submarine that may be on the surface. The second periscope is the search periscope. It can also be used for taking photos and solutions of navigation.
Open that main event.
Open main vent. Full dive on the plane.
The trim of the submarine is mainly controlled by the officer of the watch through the trim pump. But while the submarine is dived, the small trimming of keeping depth is controlled by the helmsman. The helmsman then has to keep depth to the depth required from the officer of the watch, as well as keeping on course.
Otama closely resembles a World War II type vessel, and conditions on board reflect this. 2 toilet showers for 60 men. In the makeshift lighting of Otama, the cramped living is further accentuated. Every aspect of a submarine has procedure, even the way garbage is ejected from a specialised unit.
This is the forward junior sailors mess. 18 people used to sleep out of this mess. This mess is about the size of an average child's bedroom. This is their dining room, their lounge room, as well as their bedroom. They'd have all their meals here, also watch movies here, also play cards, write letters to their loved ones. They would eat in 3 shifts, coming on watch, middle watch and going off watch.
To start with, they were the ultimate diesel electric boat that after many, many years of experiment that the Royal Navy, the British Navy, perfected. Even their propellers are specially shaped so they can travel at least, I would say, 6 knots without cavitating. And of course cavitation is the thing that detects a submarine. Every submarine you go on is the best submarine in the world.